When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. When you grow up in trauma, you don't just survive it, you start repeating it. You become addicted to chaos because it feels familiar. Tony Robbins says life is happening for you, not to you. That's not just motivational fluff, it's the truth. When I finally believed that, everything changed. What chaos in your life right now is the result of your choices? Be brutally honest. Write it down. Don't judge it. Don't excuse it. Own it. Because ownership is the doorway to freedom. Adversity is not your curse. It's a weapon. Stop asking why me. Start asking what now. Your pain can either keep you small or launch you into your calling. Studies from Harvard show that consistent workouts rewire your brain against depression and PTSD. Meditation literally reshapes your brain, shrinking the stress center and strengthening focus and calm. Pain is not your prison. It's your passport, it's your weapon, it's your wake-up call. And your trauma can become your greatest triumph. Harder Than Life Nation, welcome back. Today's episode is different. This isn't just another show. It's dedicated to one of you, a loyal listener who had the courage to DM me on Instagram and ask, how can trauma become your greatest triumph? Well, that question stopped me right in my tracks, because the truth is every single one of us has scars, and you can hear mine are deep. Some are visible, most invisible. And while the world tells you those scars are weaknesses, I'm here to tell you they're proof you survive, and they're proof that you can thrive. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning, which is the very first personal development book I've ever read, by the way, he said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. This is literally explaining how Harder Than Life was born. So let's deep dive into this episode. My story. Stories of people you know, like Oprah, Eminem, The Rock, J.K. Rowling, Michael Jordan, Nelson Mandela, all people who turned their deepest pain into unstoppable power. If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, why me? Stick with this episode. By the end of this episode, you'll be asking, why not me? So let's dive in. My first trauma came in a flash. A backhand from my mother for no reason whatsoever. She didn't like something and I was the outlet. That wasn't the last time it ever happened either. I grew up in chaos. My house wasn't a home. It was a battlefield. I learned early on that love was conditional and safety was a fantasy. I armored up. I built muscle, not just in the gym, but in my heart. I carried that into every relationship, every business deal, every night out. Sorry, I'm getting choked up even saying that because it's so true. Deep down, I believe that didn't matter. Here's the kicker. When you grow up in trauma, you don't just survive it, you start repeating it. You become addicted to chaos because it feels familiar. The familiar misery. You sabotage yourself because you think that's all you deserve. My boy Eminem, who I went to high school with for a year, knows this story. He grew up just a few miles from me in Detroit. Abused, bullied, abandoned, and yet he took that pain and poured it into rhymes that the world would sing today. He said, the truth is you don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. Life is a crazy ride and nothing is guaranteed. That ride gave him his fire. Brene Brown said, when we deny our stories, they define us. When we own our stories, we get to write the ending. I was stuck in denial for years. My story defined me. Some of you listening, it's probably you're shaking your head doing the same thing, saying the same thing. But eventually I had to choose to write a different ending, and you can too. Stick with me and I'm going to give you the blueprint. The turning point for me came when I stopped pointing fingers and started pointing the thumb right back at me. I realized everything in my life, the drama, the broken relationships, the self-destruction, was a direct result of choices I had made. It was a gut punch, but it was also the most liberating moment of my life, because the second I took responsibility, took back my power. Tony Robbins says life is happening for you, not to you. That's not just motivational fluff. It's the truth. When I finally believed that, everything changed. Think about Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty, molested as a child, told she was worthless. Yet she took radical responsibility for her life. She transformed trauma into one of the most powerful media platforms on earth. She said, turn your wounds into wisdom. That's what I did. That's what you can do too. Keep listening. Here's my challenge to you. What chaos in your life right now is the result of your choices? Be brutally honest. Write it down. Don't judge it. Don't excuse it. Own it. Because ownership is the doorway to freedom. Let me be clear. This is not a Disney movie where you take responsibility one day and everything magically gets better. There's no pixie dust going to get sprinkled around here and suddenly rainbows and unicorns appear. Healing is hard. It's lifelong. I don't think anyone is ever fully healed. We keep growing. We keep working. We keep choosing. For me, 2 battles were the hardest, and they were the ones that changed everything. Number 1, if you've been listening to me for any amount of time, you know what it's going to be. Choosing not to drink alcohol anymore. Generations before me used it to cope, to numb, to escape. I made the decision. The cycle ends here. The abuse, the cycle, all of it ended with me, and it wasn't easy. But nothing is harder than staying the same. The second, learning how to receive love and support. See, it's easy to be the tough guy, to be the wall, but letting someone in, that feels impossible to me because trauma had convinced me I didn't deserve love. I know some of you are driving in your cars, working out right now, shaking your heads, doing the same thing. Yep, that's me. I feel you, man. This is a hard one, and I battle it every day. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson knows his pain. Before he was The Rock, he was a broke ex-football player living in his car. He battled depression so deep, he said, I found that with depression, one of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. He rebuilt his life by doing the hard work, just like I had to, just like you're either doing with me or going to do with me. Thanks for listening to this. My boy Ed Milet says, your past does not equal your future unless you decide to live there. Unfortunately, many of us do live there, and I lived there for 25 plus years. Till I decided no more. The hardest work is breaking that cycle. The hardest work is letting yourself be loved. The hardest work is getting up every day and choosing discipline over destruction. But it's worth it. Anything beats where I used to be, or perhaps where you are right now listening to this. Here's the shift that changes everything. Adversity is not your curse. It's a weapon, and let's weaponize it together. Viktor Frankl, who endured concentration camps, said, in some ways, suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning. For me, that meaning was this: I matter. My childhood taught me I didn't. So my why is to spend the rest of my life proving the opposite to myself, to my daughter, and to the Harder Than Life Nation. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. That trauma, he said, it lit a fire that never burned out. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. J.K. Rowling was a single mom on welfare, rejected by 12 publishers, nearly homeless. She said rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I built my life. Man, does that sound familiar. Dr. Martin Luther King said, out of the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. That's what trauma is, a mountain of despair, but inside it, stones of hope. Stop asking why me. Start asking what now. Your pain can either keep you small or launch you into your calling. And if you haven't heard me say this, playing small is canceled. Let's get practical. Inspiration without action is just entertainment, or like I say to say, just a dream. Here are 3 non-negotiable practices that I use daily. Do these and you'll turn trauma into triumph. So to that listener, I hope you've stayed this far because this is what it's all about. Rewire your brain against depression and PTSD. And some of our childhood was exactly that, PTSD. So guys, it needs to be a little bit more than a walk. I need you sweating. That was step 1. Step 2, meditate. I know what you're thinking. Kelly, what's in the woo-woo? I've tried it before. I can't do it. Trust me. Every single self-help guru, every book I've been reading, all successful people meditate. Harvard also found meditation literally reshapes your brain, shrinking the stress center and strengthening focus and calm. So step 1, sweat. Step 2, meditate. Step 3, journal. Neuroscientists prove that writing down thoughts lowers stress and builds clarity. And my bonus stack is to eat clean, hydrate, read, listen to positive podcasts, and never stop being alert at all. That's it, guys. And you can read about this in my Happier Than Life book. 3 steps: sweat, meditate, journal, rinse, repeat. I'd suggest eating clean, drinking lots of water, reading, listen to some positive podcasts, and just be a sponge. Learn everything. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, said, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." Look at The Rock. He's in the gym at 4 a.m. Kobe Bryant's Mamba mentality was rooted in daily practices. They're disciplines, and discipline is the bridge from pain to power. Trauma doesn't define you. Your response to the trauma does. I was once a kid who took a backhand from his mom and believed I didn't matter. Now I'm a man who knows I do, and so do you. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast otherwise. So pain is not your prison. It's your passport, it's your weapon, it's your wake-up call. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. He came out not bitter, but better, and became president of South Africa. He said, "I never lose. I either win or learn." Maya Angelou said, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, sweat, meditate, and journal. Just those 3 things. DM me your wins, your struggles, your breakthroughs. I want to hear your stories. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with your friends and family, anyone that needs to hear this. Send it to a friend, post a clip, tag me. You never know who needs to hear this today. Remember, excuses don't get results. Work does. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Work works. You matter, your stories matter, and your trauma can become your greatest triumph. Until next time, be harder than life. Please rate and share this podcast. I'm active on all social platforms and love to hear from my Siegel supporters. Each and every episode is sponsored by my company, National Technology Management, the easiest and best IT company to do business with, delivering peace of mind with technology every day, even simplifying cybersecurity. Visit trustntm.com for more info. Until next week, be harder than life.